controlling transmission.
Well, hello there. And how are you doing today on this wonderful, special, phenomenal day? Now tune in, think good thoughts. Who do you love? Who are you attracted to? Think about that being right now. Let it flow. Sit with it. Dance with it. Love it. Love what you're doing. Do what you love. Remove everything that is between what you feel and you. It's kind of like talking to God. It's for you. Feel yourself. Now I explain to you the use of third eye before you can see stuff. See, people that are open can see stuff. People that claim they can see through the veil most likely cannot. Those who have proof will be evident. There's a school in Australia, ICU, I think they're called, Seeing Without Eyes, where they have kids blindfolded reading textbooks and filling out coloring books. But no mistake, no glitch. But that's seeing through the veil. Those that claim they can most likely can't. I heard it over and over. And the shamanic test is, well, if you can see through the veil or hear through the veil, what am I thinking? What's the dominant thought? What's the dominant symbol that reoccurs and comes back in your mind and reintroduces itself permanently all the time? So when a kid sits there double blindfolded and reads a book, kind of like a slow reader, but it's reading the book. I've seen the video. Hopefully soon that will be released in the documentary of Mary Rodwell. Another kid explained how he was taught the technique. And they blindfolded the guy, and in class he read from the board, and he was finding his sister, I think, on the school premises in another classroom, blindfolded, like seeing. So when that breaks free, that also puts into perspective that people that have no sight with their regular eyes can also be taught. I've seen a video of this Indian girl, which is attacked from every angle. Naturally, when we develop skills, we attack that. That has third eye training, and she can read numbers, facial expressions, like she can see without using her regular eyes. Like a blindfold, like a scarf, and then goggles on a thing where you can't, it's impossible to see through, and she can see. Well, why is that not magic? If you have a higher perceptive organ, untrained in your brain, with a retina, that can tap into the higher light spectrum. That's like, if my camera here cannot see into the infrared heat spectrum, does that mean my camera is retarded or less developed? No. When I add a thermal imaging device with an app to that camera, it can see into the heat spectrum because it has the capacity to, when translated correctly, see in the first place. So the same thing is applicable for you in your mind. Okay? So when we train that higher light device, and we know how to train it, and I get into that, then we get into higher light spectrums. For these kids, it's like simple. If you have a card with a circle, square, or a triangle hidden, and you say, "Where's the square?" They're like, "Here." Where's this? Here, here, and they never make any mistake. It's past the testing. Like these kids, like no breaks, meaning they have no programs between you and what actually is to do the magic. Some of us, we're you can say, older kids. I'm 48, but I'm a child at heart. Keep that child in you alive. When you remember when you were 5 years old, or you were playing in the sand and you were free. Your mind is free. That mind state is required also to develop the sight, the Jedi mind. I will get also into what it means to becoming a Jedi. Being in tune with what actually is in the nothingness. That's where all the magic and all the power lies. In the void. Pardon me. So, when you close your eyes and you go into the higher light spectrum, you can see symbols, objects, geometry, and whatnot. When the focus is clear, you can map it out. The craziest case I've heard on the radio of a lady that was tested by NASA that can read serial numbers on satellites. That is looking through the veil. Others that say I can see through the veil and I can see what aspect is behind you, that is superficial profile reading, an assumptive behavior of a mind that is not scientific. It's based on memory and guesswork of regurgitated knowledge that they do not own. That's not a magi, that's a fake magi. You don't have it, you don't have control, you can't see. How this can be tested is real simple. Draw an image on a piece of paper and let them guess that. Let them tell you what's there. A pharaoh in the ancient days was tested by, can you make it rain? Can you change the weather patterns? Can you instill terraforming aspects into the land field? And then you were watched. And if you couldn't perform, you were not a pharaoh, you were a failure. So a real druid was tested with druidic skills, not claiming, owning them. So part of the magic that you have, what I'm developing, is empathy. How do you feel? What is intimacy? What is touch? What is when I bring you into a sphere where everything calms down and you are in tune with yourself, guiding you to what is felt as safety? Basics is clear communication. Am I understood? Are the images that I'm explaining to you clear in your mind? And in order, do they make sense? Do you feel heard, not hurt? Do you feel appreciated, desired, wanted, adored, not worshipped? It's close. Be kind to one another. Connect that field that makes that fifth dimensional love happening. That installs Kundalini. Do not get stuck in Kundalini and sacral. Yes, there's sexual energy and everybody wants to climb the hill and reach the mountaintop. But before we want to go there, status report. Where am I with myself? How do I feel? What's my authenticity? What am I transmitting? How am I communicating to you? And if dogs come close, kids don't cry or stop crying when you're around, you're already carrying the field. That's the basic of that magic. When things around you work, when people agree with you, when electric systems work, you're in control of your vortex. Being in control of your vortex, which is now leading to what does that mean to be a Jedi, is you are ultimately the representation of an equation that represents a cosmic storm, a swirl, a whirl. Trick is to be in the center of the hurricane and control the eye of the hurricane. And if you can control that eye, you control the hurricane, meaning the field that you emanate, as in your toroidal field. Make it collapse inside of you and bring it back into your brain, and you hold that. You're a true magi. And then magic begins, things fall into place. Number codes are already happening because that's part of your magic. You're already doing it. Which also brings me to the topic is, if you hate a person, and let's say you imagine that person cheating on you, betraying you left and right, and you can't stand that person, your subconscious is already setting yourself up for that person cheating on you, betraying you, giving you a reason, or that person a reason to leave. And then you blame yourself in the world, and I'll tell you, when this happens, whatever and however that happens, ask yourself, why did I create that? Why did I create that? Because I wasn't in a place where I felt loved, cherished, appreciated, and wanted. So I create something that will remind me to move on, to go into a direction where this actually will and can take place for me in my betterment and my development. Accident, Occident, what does that mean? Of axis. Okay? Accidents happen when we have no awareness, we're not in a body, and even if somebody runs into you and you didn't cause it, awareness prevents all the things that can happen to you from happening because you are the event. You're not chasing the event out there or the glorious person or the famous this or that. You are becoming glorious and all-powerful within yourself and the construct of your design and your creation. So anything and everything that happens to you as you engage, you create. You're broke, you're living at your parents' house, well, you created it. Yes, there's a system of people, some are more privileged than others, but consciousness doesn't ask you how privileged you are. Consciousness asks you, what choice are you making in the moment? And this is beyond race. We have to go past that issue, which is the lowest distraction. When utilized and applied, we shall not operate in that field, nor shall we accept it, not ignore it. Make it known. Under the source, everybody is equal, but not everybody makes the same choice. That brings us to the difference between free will and divine will. I spoke on a radio show about that. Free will is basically how this all started, and the ego's landed here and thinking, I can do what I want to do. I can come here, rule, dominate, decimate, desecrate, pillage, rape, whatever, all of the stuff that happened to all of us, the immigrants, the pirates, and many lives and vessels got turned off, and all of those souls, guess what, have reincarnated, because we have to fix it. It has to end, it has to stop. We have to find a way where this modality no longer is accessed, and we learn how to feel ourselves. So when aggression happens, is we're not feeling ourselves. When calamities happen, densities are at a high, and we don't learn to feel ourselves. Prayers go out to wherever transformational energies are at work, such as the fires, unfortunately. But it brings us together in love helps us rebuild, and shows us where we are. Same thing with YouTube. Regular Hollywood actors I've seen fail in a one shot on a camera, because when you speak unscripted, the camera will most definitely not lie. It'll show you who you are in person, as you can see me now, unscripted, just giving you as this higher force comes in, and I'm allowing myself more to be who I am with all my expressions, everything that I do. And I've even seen in posts that people monitor me and say when he does this, he thinks he's important. I'm not so important. Take everything with a grain of salt. This is a ride. Enjoy the ride. Find the modality for you, what works for you, what is good for you, what feels right. You know, it doesn't make me important when I do this or I do. These are all program aspects coming from the creational aspect of people projecting them. We know that as in profiling, if I would make up a story and I'll go left hemisphere, then I regurgitate from memory. When I go right hemisphere, it's free creation. When I hold the center and I focus and I don't blink, the programs no longer have an application for people to suggest anything that's coming from me, because I'm source. And source code is singularity, clear content, communicated like laser beams through all three eyes. You see that? And there's nothing being created or fabricated. It's pure consciousness connecting with you. And I want you to get into feeling that with me. Feeling that deep, deep appreciation of love that's in the field. And guess what? It's for you. You're being loved. You're being cherished by more than you know. Allow that in. Feel that heart frequency. Do not be afraid to communicate that. Since the eclipse, we have been tuned and reprogrammed by our star sisters and brothers to feel more. Less thinking required. Let it flow. Let it come through the way it's supposed to come through you, to activate the parts in you that need the wake-up call. And we're working on new modalities and new product in the future. 4 to 6 weeks from now, you will see new things showing up in my field, in my store, that even more so tap into the higher resonance to anchor the higher self into the lower aspect of the self. Meaning the duality was created when the angelic split took place. There is a higher version of earth, as in imagined in the higher realm, as in the heavens, so on earth, as above, so below. The equilibrium of the good, which I said in my Shasta video, what was thundered and undone by starseed hand, the two make one. That's actually a quote from the Dark Crystal. They say Gelflings, which are the elven beings, they have to heal the crystal. The crystal got splintered. What the crystalline Christ all crystalline conscious, Christ all in consciousness. And that's for all the messiahs that walked this planet, all the avatars that had their magic released and activated, bringing the fragmentation into a focal point, the zero field. When Neo wakes up in the Matrix and he touches the mirror and he looks at his hand, the cracks in the mirror represent a reflection of himself, this fragmentation of the soul, and it's becoming one as it's being fused, and he wakes up and he's like, oh, and he wakes up in the real world and he says his eyes are hurting, and Morpheus says, you've never used them. That's very profound, and many don't even remember that metaphor. So when you use your eyes with your heart and your third eye, you begin to feel what's really happening around you. And when you tune in with your heart and all that is and anchor it through the root chakra into the earth, and let the feeling take over, you begin to tune in. So a few tricks is have your hands hanging down and feel your fingertips tingle. And then you go through your thumb, your index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and the pinky. And in the movie Willow, the Magi asked the apprentice, which finger holds the strongest power? What would you pick? Where is the power of a Magi? The strongest power? Here. Your weakest, undetected, unseen thinking, not useful of the self, where you feel, where you're vulnerable, where you truly are, is the pinky, not the index finger. For those who pick pinky, you're right. It has nothing to do with being too feminine or being this or that. There's no discrimination going on in my court. We don't play that. Sensitivity and feelings and acceptance for all on this planet. That is what we're here to propagate. To bring back the angelic self into the vessel of what is you, what makes you, feeling and loving, all chakras connected. The 7 in the body, in the booty. And of course, 2 more above your head, 9 chakras. The Council of 9, 9 chakras, 9, the divine, rhyme time, hidden like pyramid grid lines. I'm in design when I refine from there to the mind. It's all in the 9. And put that in your brain. Feel good. Be in that state where you're loved. You're accepted. Can you understand that you're more loved than you can even fathom? Like a distance between 2 stars. Like trying to understand traveling at the speed of consciousness. You're loved. And as long as this can be propagated from a peaceful place, we will do this until, what they say, kingdom come. What does that mean, kingdom come? And I'm tuning in deep. When I connect with you, deep. Deep, 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 deep. You understand? Feel that. This is my meditation with you. And don't be afraid to say what you have to say, where and however it is. There's no consequence, there's no punishment. There's no rejection in a way for what you want. Be more open to feel like, what is it that I need? Why do I need this cuddle feeling, this gentleness, this safety? You are here with me right now to embrace that moment, to fully accept love. That is also in creation. And creation is original. Abstract variations. Seeing the self. And we will get into training the third eye by learning to see more number codes, digits, hidden messages, and also acting right upon that. So let me wrap this up, what has to do also with your third eye. People say, how do I connect with my star family? I've been asked many, many times. So not all the time it is clear what planet you're from. You're all from different planets. You just have to get to develop the awareness. A star seed is one that has the awareness. Yes, I'm cosmic. Yes, I'm from another star system, star dimension. I'm in a human vessel. I'm Hue, H-U-E, man, meaning fulfilled light manifest. Filled hue, man, as in manifest. Not masculine or feminine. This is in balance, should be in balance, as in ma'at. That's how this should be met. So, recalibrate your mind into what is. Feel the moment with me. Celebrate yourself. Enjoy yourself. Do something that is joyous. Chase your highest excitement. And if you don't know, don't be an assumptive mind. No. Ask a question and the answer shall be given. Go around it, you're assuming. And assuming is non-scientific. And to be psychic, you need to be scientific. In the cosmic sense, there's a divine IQ. When your divine IQ is as a number that hovers over your head, if that goes surpass 200, many don't know that, then you begin to move objects. Then you begin to precog probable timelines. And your field is that extreme that grass grows larger, greener, plants grow greener. I mean, I had a friend that I lived with and she turned plants black. Like the, what was that called? The huntsman with the snow queen, and she walked through the garden and everything turned black and withered. Well, if you become a negative version of yourself, as in a negative black hole or a macabric, negentropic reverse engineer, where the implosion becomes an explosion and you become destructive, and a consuming flame, well, you consume life force, hence spiritual vampire, parasites, attachments, demons, as in thought forms that sit with people. They think they run their thing, but they are being run. Don't fall for books that tell you what evil is. Tricksters can come in all types, forms, or shapes. See, the stream is so wavy, goes from one thing to another. So okay, so the collective wants me to share with you. Let me hold this focus because it's going so fast. Don't be fooled by preachers, false teachers, weird propaganda. Illusion always leads to nothingness, no progress. Lies have no foundation. And if somebody utters something in your direction that is upsetting, derogatory, curse words, or negative, make no mistake, that is destructive, that is non-essential, that is not for you, and it doesn't actually lead to progress. It digresses. What is beyond all known magic is to be transparent, to give everybody their divine will, to let them make their own choice and come to their own conclusions. Aggression will and shall not be supported nor enabled, nor shall we respond to that. And even if somebody makes a joke with derogatory words without consent towards you, and you feel upset and you say, that's very upsetting, I wish not to communicate with you, that needs to be, and that freedom needs to be respected, and it needs to stop. So kind words, winged words, good things for one another is what enables us to bring in the greater form or the greater format of fifth dimensional love frequency. So don't be afraid to be yourself and live that to the fullest, because this is what makes life actually possible, plausible, and fantastic for you. So when you suggest good things to your subconscious cannot decipher between good and bad. It is a collector of data. Your karma is your subconscious, if you will. Cause and effect. Okay? Root and what grows out of the root. Seeds and the fruit. You can't plant rotten seeds and expect the holy fruit to come from that. So to close this lecture here about the third eye entrainment, which is an ongoing process, mind you, when you suggest good things to your subconscious by good deeds and good actions and speaking the good words and staying positive, you're upgrading your merkabic field, you're enhancing your subconscious field, the love frequency, the bliss factor, staying in the positive for as many days as possible without being ignorant. You don't have to run around thinking that you're the Messiah or the savior of the planet. It's more like help the lady across the street. Somebody has a problem, give a solution. Somebody wants to talk bad, you talk positive. If somebody needs help, you defend. You don't engage, you don't start, you don't rattle the establishment of the old paradigm. You dance a dance to inspire the positive in your reflection, in your creation. Shared creation. Have thoughts that can be shared. There are thoughts that are non-shareable, well, they're destructive. The non-consuming flame is the forever glowing flame of God within you, which is you. God, Elohim, eternal within your Gataga code. Source has left a copyright, which is designed by Creator. Genderless, mind you. So know this: when you use negative words to joke or be sarcastic, you're downgrading your subconscious system. You will also be sick or get iller. Disease or sickness or pain is manifest because you have created that with things that you have created in your mind repeatedly over and over and over. People don't want to hear this. Ultimately, you create anything in your life. Everything that you introduce into your life, everything that you let in, everything that you repeat as a thought that gets upsetting is negative energy that your mind as in, hence, you are the gatekeeper. I call myself gatekeeper. You all are gatekeepers. Be mindful of what you are inviting into your mind, because the gatekeeper is the stargate for subconscious programming before you can go interstellar with the mind and travel with consciousness. So stay in the positive at all times with everything that is, and program your subconscious to receive positive information. So no horror movies, bad news. Do not ignore news, but don't also misinform you. If you can't be in balance, at peace, and at bliss, how can the world be? So if it's not good for you, well, logically, it's not good for the planet. It has to be good for you. It has to be fun. It has to be enjoyment. But not enjoyment that you steal from somebody else and take their freedom to enjoy themselves. Enjoy yourself. Be a little bit self-centered. Not selfish in a sense, but nurture yourself. Learn to nurture yourself. And guess what? Your parents are not going to save you. They have their own faulty or default settings that they have to work through. I lost half of my family at birth. I died in my mother's womb and I came back, but I do not suffer and stay there and blame the world for the loss that my soul has created as an experience. I'm here, so I'm subject to everything that happens, so I created that. That's a big responsibility. And I'm at peace with how I lived life and what I've experienced, and I make the choice to be weaponless, to be peaceful, to be mindful, to not turn away from what I feel with my heart. And I more so in life now share, this is how I feel. And many perish. Many are called, only a few will listen. When love is shared and true information of that what comes through the heart is shared, everything opens. No status of love, whatever relationship is required to be loving or be in the heart. Wherever that leads to, tantric, whatever you want to do, that is your preference and your choice. Let that be mutual. Let that be in agreement. Let whatever you desire give consent and allowance to the approach. Non-violent, non-brutal, not like a caveman, not like a dog. Be more like a cat. They say dogs are from Earth, cats are from outer space. Well, that explains a lot, doesn't it? So I leave you with that in your mind. Maybe after this, take your time, take a bath, something. Do something for you, do something nice. Something nice. Okay? and love yourself more with all there is. And know this, I'm always here. I'll always transmit. I won't stop. Because I love you. And this video is free. Nobody can tell you what you have to do. Nobody suggests anything. All there is that you follow your excitement. You follow your resonance. And if it's a little crystalline pyramid in that store and you want to buy that because you feel that and it brings you joy, make it valuable what you're bringing home. Not some hype sneakers that, you know, they hit one day and the next day, meh. Love it. Love it with all there is. And it doesn't matter what it is. Everything you bring home, you're introduced to you or to your mouth, or smells or essential oils. Love it with all there is that you have. Choose to be chosen. And love always uplifts and reveals and shows you who is who. On that note, I most certainly see you on the flip side. Peace.